Alright guys, I believe I just found the biggest secret in Piggy Book 2 yet, and it's with a simple tweet by Minitoon, and I think that Mr. P or Mrs. P will be coming back in this chapter. Let's get into it. Alright, you heard the intro. Mr. P and Mrs. P is going to be coming back in this chapter, and it might be just confirmed. And you guys are probably wondering, Fred Gaming, how did you get this information? And this is a bunch of theories and a mix of proof and theories. So I'm going to put a tweet up on screen right now. He posted it about a day ago, but it was very late at night, so I could not record a video. So here's the tweet. I'll put it up on screen right there. And it says, after all this time, we meet again face to face. So, well, I mean, that's not the exact words, but that's the basic, idea of what it means. So, we meet face to face after all this time. That is a very, very, very odd, native dialogue. And I think it's going to be talking about me, the player that's playing the game, or it's going to be talking about a character saying it to us. So it can either be an old character that we haven't seen in a long time and we're going to meet again, or it's a character that we've heard of and is going to be coming back in person, face to face, which is said in the tweet. So we have three options here that we'll be doing. Number 1, Mr. P. Number 2, Mrs. P. And number 3, the insolence, Mr. Stitchy. So number 1 is Mr. P because maybe we meet face to face, which is face to face, after all this time, because he's not been introduced into the storyline in book 2 at all. So it makes sense for him to come into the storyline sometime. And Mrs. P, I think it actually is Mrs. P, and this makes the most sense, and I'm going to tell you real quick why before we get into the other person. So, we'll just get into that later. That will be, the last part of the video. Mrs. P is another option. And lastly, Mr. Stitchy, because we've been hearing about Mr. Stitchy, but have never seen him actually in person, face-to-face. So, that would be pretty cool. Me, I'm preferring Mr. P right here, but if it is Mrs. P, that would be very awesome and very, kind of book 1 vibe right there. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's get into why Mrs. P makes the most sense. Now, if you remember my recent video, if you didn't watch it, go ahead and watch it. The emoji hints for Piggy Book 2. I said that magician's hat meant Mr. Stitchy, but I am unfortunately wrong, and that is actually Mrs. P's hat. Because if you remember, Mrs. P had a redesign, and that looks exactly like her hat, and that looks exactly like Mr. P's hat. So, yeah, that is pretty cool, if I do say so myself. That is one hint of Mrs. P or Mr. P, so we can narrow it down to Mr. P or Mrs. P. Now, Minitoon also did tweet something someone said, Mr. P, the hat reveals that Mr. P isn't coming in the chapter. And Minitoon said, I'm not going to reveal what the top hat is, but it has something to do with the bot skin, which will be very fun to work on. So, he mentioned her. So, that has to be Mrs. P, right? So, it's confirmed. So, yeah, Mrs. P coming to book 2. I wonder how this is going to go into the storyline. So, yeah, this is really awesome and exciting news for the future of Piggy and, most importantly, the future of the book 2 storyline. And this explains a lot of things. This explains how we're going to get everyone else back, because when you remember that note that says subject, we need the first person that took subject 128, but it was the Piggy family, but they're probably not going to get access to them, so they have to bring along Mrs. P, and this is how they're going to get the ultimate cure. So this might be the final piece of the cure to get the cure. Those are my predictions. Put your predictions on this down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.